Hello friends, Adam here with FED. I'm a little worried about Fire Emblem Engage, guys. Just a little worried. I think they're showing us a little too much. I like to go into a game not knowing a whole lot and getting surprised by things. And I understand the idea is, oh, just avoid trailers and stuff. And I know that I could still do that, but it's kind of my job to keep tabs on all this stuff. So it's hard for me to ignore it, right? But Fire Emblem Engage, if you go look at the Japanese Fire Emblem Twitter, they are showing so many aspects of the game, and I worry it's too much. But on the other hand, you could say, well, maybe they're only showing a small portion of it, and there's so much more to the game that we can't even imagine at this point. And if that's the case, I'm in. That'd be really cool. But at this point, I'm worried it's going to be a Three Houses situation. Do you guys remember before Three Houses came out, the first trailer, everyone was kind of like, what the? A school setting? That's kind of dumb. It almost felt like a reactionary decision for them to show off part 2 to get people excited about the game. And I understand that's why you show off more than you probably should in your game trailer, is so that people will be interested and buy it, right? I get that. That makes sense. From a business standpoint, it probably makes a world of difference than leaving surprises. But could you imagine going into Three Houses not knowing there was a part 2, not knowing that there was this time skip and all these characters were going to have different designs? How cool it would have been to see Dimitri for the first time after the time skip with his eye patch and things, or see Claude for the first time, all like adult with like a beard and stuff. Like, it would have been really fun and a really great. It would have made for really great like stream moments too. It would have been made for really great content. So on that front, I'm a little upset about it, but I don't know. I guess there's give and take here, because I understand that they wanted the game to sell, so they had to have something. But we look at Fire Emblem Engage. We now, at this point, I'm fairly confident we've now seen every emblem ring that's going to be available to the player. We've even seen DLC already. Like, announcing DLC, that's a whole nother topic. Announcing DLC before the game even comes out, pretty funny. And it's going to be available day one, which is also very funny. Anyways, we're seeing a lot. We know the emblems. We even know what the emblem forms, like the Engage forms, look like, so that's not even really a surprise. I mean, I guess we haven't seen, like, Ike's, but we've seen, like, we've seen Lynn, we've seen Roy in a trailer now, we've seen all sorts of them, and it's just getting a little over the top. It's a little over the top for my taste. Now they're even showing off even like little small things that they don't even need to. Things that aren't going to sell the game, in my opinion. They showed off like a little workout mini game or whatever, which, like, why is that in my Fire Emblem game in the first place? But they're showing that off. Why not just like leave that for me to find later? Or they're showing off like the gacha mechanic. People are kind of upset about that. There's going to be all these like super minor character rings that just use character art from their video game, from previous Fire Emblem games, right? And people are kind of upset about the gacha mechanic thing. But regardless, it's less about that being an issue and more about that they're like showing it to us. Like, they don't need to show that to us. I don't need to know that there's like a tiny ring of Chris in the game that's going to give me like +2 strength or something. It's just kind of started to drive me nuts. Every little thing they're showing us. It's like you have to know everything about the game before there's like to make an informed decision on whether you should buy it. Again, I understand there's some give and take here. That if they don't show this stuff off, if they don't show how much there is to do in the game, someone might not buy it. There's a lot of competition out there on the market, right? There's new games being released every single day, and you need to make your game stand out. But it's too bad that they feel like they need to reveal everything, like literally everything, to make their game appeal to the masses. Even like recruitable characters, they don't need to show. They could have just left it at like Ivy and Hortensia, or however you say, or Hortensia, however you say her name. Could have left them as like obvious, like they look like villains. Keep them villains in your trailers, and then like it'll be this crazy awesome surprise when you get to recruit them. Right? It'll be a fun thing. But now I'm expecting it. Now I'm like, well, as far as the story goes, you'll probably fight them a few times, and then they'll be like, well, I guess we're on your side now because the Fell Dragon's super evil, and we obviously don't want super evil things to happen, so they're going to join your team. That could have been a cool reveal. That could have been a cool secret thing. It makes me think of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, where there is a general towards the end of the game that is like this famed general who there's like a large chance you would think they'd just end up being kind of like a Camus type or Eldigan type of character, where they won't join your army, even though they kind of sympathize with you. But then you can recruit him. You know, you just talk to him with the main character and he joins your team, and that's kind of cool. I'm into that, and it was a fun surprise. But at this point, I don't see very many surprises like that happening in Engage. I guess that also comes down to a whole thing with they don't like having playable characters be easily missed in modern Fire Emblem, even in like Fates and stuff, like and Awakening. It's really hard to miss characters. So I don't know. Those are just some like off the cuff thoughts on this topic. I was just kind of frustrated by how much they're showing off now, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it in the comments. So what do you think? Do you think they're showing off too much of Fire Emblem Engage for their own good? Is it too much? And I understand a lot of you are just going to say, well, just avoid the trailers. And I get that, but that comes down to just avoiding social media entirely for someone who's really into Fire Emblem and follows, you know, you follow your Ghasts and your Lucky Crits and stuff like that, because they're all talking about it, right? They're all talking about it. So it's just hard to avoid. So I guess you could just like, okay, from now until January 20th, I'm going to go on like a social media blackout and not look at anything. Which for many of us, we're not willing to do that, right? Anyways, leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think they're showing too much of Engage? Regardless, are you still excited for the game? Do you think there's going to be some fun plot twist that we just don't know about? Obviously, there will be, but do you think it's going to be enough to justify all the stuff they've shown? And I don't know, you can share like what aspect of the game you're into at this point. What are you excited about? And actually, that is something I want to know about. Do you guys has something that's been revealed that didn't necessarily need to be revealed to show off the game? Has something like that turned you onto the game and said, okay, yeah, now I'll buy Fire Emblem Engage? That did you see the little workout mini game and say, oh yeah, I'm in? You know, like, oh yeah, that's my stuff. Just curious on that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I want to apologize for kind of dropping off the face of the earth for the past like week and a couple days. My wife was pregnant, you know, and she kind of had to go to the hospital, you know, have babies and stuff. And I say babies, it was twins. So it's been kind of a stressful week or so. But the babies seem to be doing good. One of them is in the NICU, which is, you know, basically the baby ICU or intensive care unit, because he wasn't eating enough. So, but he's starting to do better and improve. So I think he's gonna come home soon. Anyways, it's just been a really stressful week. It was a really hard time for Maggie, especially. So. Thank you for understanding for me like dropping off the face of the earth with the marathon and everything and just not able to do it now. But yeah, thanks for your support. Appreciate it. Thanks for all my members. I think we have 44 members now, which is kind of insane. Thank you so much, all of you. And yeah, catch you next time.